No, you didn't go to film school.
I enrolled in NYU and I went there for literally 2 days.
I often joke when people ask if I went to film school, I say, oh, I went to the Stanley Kubrick Film School, which means you just buy a camera and you learn how to use it and you start making movies, and that's as good as anything else.
I also tell students whenever I speak at a college to leave film school immediately. Don't waste your time at film school.
Why?
There is no training ground for filmmaking. Film schools, it's a little bit deceptive to believe you go through film school for 3 or 4 years and then you're a filmmaker. Problematic in all this is when you see young people finishing film school and they've got their diploma, and then what?
For film, if you're a self-motivated person, which you need to be for film anyway, that's lesson number one. It's not like you get your degree and then the industry gives you this or that, or, you know, if you're ever really going to write and direct movies and get your own movies made, you have to be, you know, a hustler. You got to be kind of obsessively motivated. School's not going to teach you that or give you those skills. You just kind of have to do it.
All you need to do to learn how to make films is to watch them, and to especially watch Alfred Hitchcock's films, because they are a veritable lexicon of filmmaking. And today, if you're a young person interested in making films, you can do what I couldn't do. You can go out and buy a camera now, an affordable camera, and you can shoot something, and you can edit it at home on your computer, and you can then, if you get something, even if it's a short film, you can put it on YouTube or some other site. People will see it, and even there's a lot of young executives in Hollywood who watch this stuff, and guys have gotten job offers as a result of it. I think that that's a more practical way for someone to learn how to make films than listening to theories or having somebody criticize your work. Because all criticism of your work, even by the best film professors around, is subjective.
What happened was I walked into this class and this teacher said, you know, if anyone is here to write Terminator 2, just walk out, just get out of the door. And I thought, well, that's just not a good way to start. What if I do want to write Terminator 2? What if someone sitting next to me wants to write? You know, he was sort of instantly saying, you know, we write serious films here, you know. Terminator 2 is a pretty awesome movie.
Have you ever heard of a rock group called The Doors? Well, these guys went to UCLA Film School, and Ray Manzarek and Jim Morrison were told that they had no talent as filmmakers.
There was an assignment to write. It was you write a page that has no dialogue in it, right? But you got to make sure that you explain something about a character. You show a character trait through action. And I had read this great script by David Mamet, which was Hoffa, which was not made at the time. And there was a great scene that Mamet had written where Danny DeVito is driving along, his character's driving along, and it shows what he's going through by the method he uses to keep himself awake while driving, which is he lights a cigarette and he holds it between his hands and he lets it burn down to his fingers to keep him burning his fingers and keeping him awake. It's just so simple and perfect and lovely, and it's, you know, Mr. Pulitzer Prize himself, David Mamet. So I took that page and I handed it in, and it got a C+. And I said, all right, now I know I'm right.
So they started cutting class.
And there's a wonderful thing that if you drop out quick enough, you can get your tuition back.
And they would meet on the lawn at Royce Hall at UCLA, and Morrison used to read his poems to Manzarek, and Manzarek said, Jesus, these lyrics are great, these are songs. And he wrote music for them, and they started this band. I can only imagine what their films must have been like.
I had this money that my father had put aside, some college money for me, you know, and I sort of, you know, very suspiciously took that money that had been, and I just lived off that and made a short film.
If you have something important, really important, to do in your life, or in this year, or in this phase of your life, try to do it on foot, because that's where the world really, really responds and reveals itself.